talking about His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, his passing and the months or whatever weeks to his passing where you were there. I was watching the live streams and everything. Could you tell us a little bit about what your feelings were at that time and some maybe things people don't know about, like the behind the scenes of that amazing, glorious passing?
Yeah, it was, Maharaj wanted us to be there in that final journey. In the last few years of my life, I've actually walked through that final journey with different individuals. Sri Dharma Prabhu, some of you may know, the temple president at the Manor, who was a dear Shiksha Guru, and my friend Janaki Nath, who probably you guys also know.
Of course, yeah.
The smiling monk who, also left the world from cancer. So walking through that journey, when I was going to Vrindavan in that February of that year where Maharaj passed away, I already had myself prepared because I knew there's a very, Krishna consciousness becomes so relevant as we get closer to death. It's just like, wow, this is real. This stuff is real. And so I was going there, I was preparing for that. And I remember I came into Maharaj's apartment when I arrived in Vrindavan. And, naturally I saw him and, his body was pretty emaciated already. This was perhaps 3 weeks before he left. And I came in and I paid my obeisances and I said, Maharaj, I'm sorry, I should have been here before, but it's been a busy few months. I've been traveling on your order. So I said, it's been a busy few months. And then he looked at me and he said, it's going to be a busy few years. It's probably going to be a busy lifetime. You got lots of service to do.
Wow.
And then he told me to sit down, and I sat down, and he was lying in bed, and he was really not well. And then he said, get your computer. And so I got my computer, and he started dictating a letter for one project around the world and some of the intricacies. And he was like, yeah, we got things to do for Prabhupada. And that was the first amazing thing for me that, here's someone, you sometimes think what goes through the mind of someone who knows they've got 3 weeks left in this world. And in his mind was ensuring that the service of Krishna, the service of Srila Prabhupada here would go on well. And I thought that for me was the first amazing thing to see. And then, in those days, we observed Maharaj, 3 or 4 weeks before departing, he stopped eating. At one point, he stopped even taking water. And he just started giving away everything, to the point where his room was completely bare. And it was just like this incredible journey of just seeing someone just kind of tie up everything, let go of everything. And it came to the point where on that final day when he left, he was just literally in his room with a dhoti, and he was kind of lying on the bed like this. It was very iconic in one sense how he passed. He was kind of lying on his bed like this. And he just left very, very peacefully, at an incredibly auspicious time with all the devotees chanting. I remember in that room actually seeing His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, who, it was an interesting dynamic because the spiritual master is seeing the disciple leave. And for us to also observe that as disciples. Jayadvaita Maharaj was just beaming. He was just beaming, and he was just he was so happy that it was just this is just the perfection of life. And so, it was hugely life-affirming, hugely painful as well, naturally. I sometimes talk about how the departure of the spiritual master is an unwelcome gift. Because I don't think you're ever going to welcome that. You're not ever going to accept it. You're never ever going to be like, that was, in any way something I wanted to experience. But it's also a gift because it just forces you to connect now on a deeper level. And so, that's what we're kind of